Hi, Tom Trento in the studios in Florida with our good friend from the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies, Barry Shaw, in Israel right now. And you can reach Barry at Facebook, The View from Israel, Barry Shaw. You want to go there, look at what Barry Shaw produces in terms of intelligence information about what's going on in the great state of Israel. Barry, welcome to our show. How are you, Barry?
I'm exhausted, Tom. You guys don't know it, but I've just spent 2 days picking up people, some guests from Jerusalem, showing them things I want to show you guys at United West when you come over. They're going to shock you. I took him up about midday up Masada, where I had my Elon Musk moment and put up my own picture there with the same background, talk about live free or die with a different meaning. I had to settle him back down to his hotel in Tel Aviv and got back here. And just a few minutes ago, lo and behold, I got a message from Tom saying, Barry, are you there? So I'm sorry I'm looking exhausted and unshaven, but you're my master. Whatever you want me to be here, I'm here for you.
All right. Well, you do an amazing job, and you are part of our team, and we really appreciate it. You just came down from Masada. And we all know, because we take our tours up to Masada because of the significance, the symbolic, historic significance, that the Jews 2,000 years ago took a stand against the Romans up there when there was not only an existential, but an actual military threat.
Yeah.
Fast forward, Barry, 2,000 years, a little further to the east, you have another existential and possible physical military threat in the nation of Iran. What is going on right now? We had the joint plan of cooperation between the 5 nations, and Trump pulled the plug on that because of the cheating. I heard Israel say, as of today, if the United States enters into a deal with Iran, we're not following that deal. Give us an update on Iran and Israel and the tensions that exist.
I'm sorry to tell you this, Tom, if I'm going to sound cynical, but unfortunately in Israel right now, we find cynicism is where the truth lies. And I find it that Biden is desperate to try and pull an Iran nuclear deal, a bad nuclear deal, out of the hat before the upcoming midterms, so that the Democrats and the supporting media over there can sort of claim it as Biden's shining moment, and even probably project him to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize next year over it. But this deal is an awful deal, and the Israeli government are telling your intelligence people and your Pentagon and your defense minister and even Blinken, this deal is worse than the last one.
Well, I read that there's good forensic information that Iran has enriched nuclear material to the point of bomb capability. That's frightening, Barry. That's absolutely frightening. And because of our work in Israel, we get questioned a lot. And lately, in particular, Tom or Mark or Mary or whomever at the United West, is Israel going to attack Iran? It's a question to you.
Things are going on here. Of course, one of the conditions that the Iranians are pulling out was that the United States should remove their Al-Quds terror-supporting military machine off the U.S. list of foreign terror organizations. So far, the Biden administration have resisted it, but Iran's not coming back to the deal until something like this is going to happen, which shows you just one aspect of how bad this is. And now, the Israeli defense minister, Benny Gantz, was over there talking to your Pentagon and your defense minister and your intelligence people, talking about things that Israel has to do as Iran heads towards a 90% uranium breakout point. From there, it's simply a matter of time before they can weaponize this uranium into a bomb. And Israel isn't going to wait for that time. And right now, we have been conducting here in Israel, the military, the civil brigade, the home front, the medical teams, the fire brigade, the police, something called chariots of fire, which is a multi-force, month-long exercise on a doomsday situation in which whether Iran fires a missile or not, or whether we remove the Iranian threat one way or the other, Iran will call upon all their proxies. That means Hamas over our southern border, Hezbollah over our northern border, Hezbollah and Iran and maybe the Syria as well over our eastern border, firing in excess of 200,000 rockets, which could be 30 to 40,000 rockets a day into Israel. And Iran can say, well, we didn't do it. These other people did it because they sympathize with our cause. What is Biden going to do in that scenario? I'll give you a little bit of a message. You don't know this, but 2 days ago, over 100 Israeli fighter planes and their refueling planes engaged in a 36-hour exercise, flying long distance. Actually, I can tell you, we were over the skies of Cyprus and other places, doing some sort of scenario for a prolonged air exercise. Now, we're not going to do that simply to waste fuel. We're doing that in preparation and coordinating how the exercise is, should the day come that Israel has our own Masada moment. Live free or die.
Yeah, that's a call, a clarion call of Israelis for over 2,000 years, and it's an appropriate one today. Barry, your sober analysis is a bit frightening, but we live in a frightening world right now, and a Middle East that is stabilized because of the strength of Israel. And we know Iran wants to destabilize that. We'll keep our eye on what's going on. In fact, next year, a year from now, June of 2023, the United West will be in Israel on one of our national security tours. People can go to theunitedwest.org to get information about that. Barry, we want to talk to you in our next episode about, you referenced President Biden. We want to talk about him, his view of Israel, and some of his helpers he has in the White House and their view of Israel. So we'll see you in the near future. Thank you, Barry Shaw.
Thank you, Tom.